I don't know why it's like such a thing. Well, I do know why it's such a thing in the media, but I don't know why it's such a debated thing. Let me ask you, like, what do you think of climate change? And when I say that, I mean, what do you think it is? Like as far as it's discussed in the media and why we're talking about global warming and things like that.
So for me, what I think it is our general climate throughout the world is changing drastically, and then what I mean by drastically is that like it's going up, maybe by like a degree or a half a degree in like crucial areas, but enough to where like experts and scientists can be concerned, because whatever the reason is, we don't have a way to control that.
Well, let me ask you this: what's wrong with that? I mean, why should we have a problem with the planet getting warmer?
Well, I think, for me, the obvious answer will be because we have like polar ice caps. You know, so those areas are crucial that we don't want those to get warmer by any degree, because ice melting is not a good thing.
And I hope you don't take this as me like picking on you, but everything you said I agree with so far. But I'm wondering, like, how far does your knowledge go? Because I feel like other people than just us have that stance,
right?
But I don't think they fully understand why that's bad. So do you know why it's so bad if the polar ice caps melt?
Because that would lead to like the oceans rising. So a simple thing that I would try to explain to people is like fill a glass up like to the top with already some ice in there, and then slowly add like ice and then just watch it overflow, because it's a similar situation. Like, we have a lot of like low laying areas that could easily be overcome by rising water.
Sure, but let's say we are doing something, or the planet is warming for some reason. Well, I mean, we'll get into what I believe in a minute, but so the polar ice caps are melting, but couldn't we just correct our problem? Have the temperatures of the planet come down, and then the polar ice caps would refreeze?
Okay, those things don't happen like overnight. That's not an instant thing. So whatever.
But if we did do it, no matter how much time it took, couldn't they just refreeze?
Well, they didn't, like, once again, they didn't like unfreeze. They didn't thaw, and
Well, they're melting now, though.
Yeah, did it? But yeah. So I mean, there's like, we can take some steps to like correct some things, but like, once again, those are going to take some time. So that's why it would be crucial to take some action now.
But do you know what it would take to undo that change?
Oh no, I don't even know if there would be anything you can that you can do to correct the melting ice now, but you could take some steps to prevent further ice from melting.
So yes, correct. So kind of. Let me explain. So the way the ice at the poles was formed, and the reason why it's so high up, because some of this ice is like a mile or more high, and in the form of like huge glaciers or huge ice, I guess walls, for lack of a better term. I don't want to, set off flat earth. There's not a wall around, but like a big wall at the poles. The way it got there is through the last ice age or one of the ice ages. I mean, they could have all built on top of each other to build up the ice at the poles. And the issue with that is that the snow and the ice that's there is actually fresh water ice or snow. It's not salty like the ocean. So the problem is that when that melts and then drains down, the ice wall or mountain or wherever it is, falls into the ocean and then melts in the ocean, and then raises the ocean levels, the only way to get that stuff back is through snowfall. Well, I shouldn't say the only way, but that's one of the ways that you get it back. So you would need to have another ice age in order for the rising sea levels to be undone. But at least as far as we can tell from like ice samples and rock core samples and different earth core samples, for lack of a better term, that would extend way down into the United States. I mean, it would basically make huge portions of the planet not ideal for us to live in.
Right.
I mean, it would be covered with massive amounts of ice and things like that. We would have to go through that whole cycle to undo that. So the problem with warming the planet and allowing the ice at the poles to melt is to undo it. I almost want to say impossible, but I guess, we don't know what future technologies could bring.
Right.
But you would literally have to, desalinate ocean water so that it's fresh again, and then put it back on the poles as snow. I mean,
yeah,
is that even possible? I mean, you'd have to have one plant to remove one machine to remove the salt, and then another machine, like a bunch of big snow machines.
Yeah.
And we're talking at a global level. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the effort would be ridiculous.
Yeah. So what?